Hello, this is Mr. Albee. I'll be teaching you a little bit about Photoshop. Photoshop is a program that allows us to manipulate photos. It's got lots and lots of tools. We can cut and paste different pieces from photographs and put them together in lots of fun ways and blend them together. We can fix photos. There's lots of fun things. We can change the color of things. We can make things, heal things. We can take pimples off of our faces. We can do all sorts of fun things. You could even paint on here if you wanted to. Today I'm going to show you how to use the selection tool. So first I'm going to open up a couple pictures that'll help me show you how to use selections. Okay, so I've downloaded these. Where did I put them? First we're going to start with a picture of a farmhouse. It's got a nice solid horizon. Okay. And so over here on the left, now that we've got a picture open, now we can see the toolbar with the main tools that we're going to be using. So I'm going to focus today on the rectangular marquee tool and any of its subtools. You can always click the little arrow at the bottom right hand of a tool. If it has a little arrow, it means there's more tools underneath. You just click and hold it and more tools will pop up. We're going to talk about marquee selection tool. It's one of your simplest ones. We're going to talk about the lasso tool and the polygon lasso tool and the magnetic lasso tool. Check these out. And we're also going to talk about the quick selection tool. Okay, one of the key skills in Photoshop is being able to get a good selection. So we're going to show you how these would work. Now, if I just wanted to get a rough estimate, if you just need a rectangular square, I could just select this much. Everything inside the marching ants, that's what I call them. You can look the little dash that's animated. The marching ants. Everything inside of what we call a selection is the only part of Photoshop that you are allowed to edit. That's why we can pinpoint selections and only do certain things to them. So let's just say I grab the paintbrush tool. I've got black and I've got a brush. I can use the curly braces to grow or shrink the mouse. And I could paint on it, see? And I'm not allowed to paint outside the box because the selection makes only that part of the image active. Okay, I don't actually want to do that to the picture. So there's the rectangular marquee tool. You can select just a simple rectangular shape. But if you want to get more exact, then you can use the lasso tool. Well, the lasso tool lets you do any shape you want. But you'd have to, maybe I want to select this house. Well, you have to kind of draw it. The lasso tool lets you draw any shape you want. I could select that, or maybe I could select the fence, but I get tired of it. Sometimes I use the lasso tool when I just want to get a quick selection. Woo! But the selection tool, the problem with that is it's too much freedom. You pretty much have to be an artist just to draw the perfect selection. But you could if you wanted to draw the perfect selection. But there's also better ways of doing this. Inside the lasso tool, there's a polygonal lasso tool. I like this one. It gives me a little more control. You click, and every time you click, it draws a straight line from where you last clicked. Click, creating a polygon, many-sided shape, right? You double click at the end and it creates a selection. Now, I'm going to zoom in. That's Command plus. Zoom in just a little bit. Still wasn't very accurate. Let's say I wanted to select this fence. With the polygonal lasso tool, I can kind of do these little curves just by lots of short little clicks. Gives me just a little bit more control than the regular lasso tool. But still, it's a little cumbersome to draw the different shapes. But it's there if you need it. And I've used this one lots of times. Create lots of good selections. There's the magnet lasso tool. That one gives you some cool features. The magnet, it tries to find contrast and stick to it. So like I'm going to draw along this horizon, and you notice the magnet is like, oh, I see the horizon. I can see it. I'll just stick right to it. Okay, a little sketchy at the top there. Oh, and sometimes I forget how to end it. Let's try that one again. Roll across the magnetic. There we go. Then I'll just kind of go all the way around. Double click to end it. There we go. Where'd it go? There we go. Double click to end it. And there we go. That's a little bit better. It got the horizon really well. But the corners didn't work out very well. I could clean that up with the marquee tool. You can always add to a selection by holding down Shift. Do you notice the cursor changes to a plus sign when you hold down Shift? Hold down Shift. I've got the rectangular marquee tool. I'm holding down Shift, and I could make a selection just to clean up those corners. And it would add to my already selected selection. So you can add to it anytime. See if I added to it here. Oops, didn't want that. Command Z, undo. All right, so I got a little bit better selection there. Okay. With the magnetic tool, but you can see I still need to refine some of it. Didn't get a very good job with those clouds and stuff. So there's one that I've become very fond of for selections, especially with little details like this, is the quick selection tool. Quick selection tool is like a paintbrush. You can grow and shrink the size of the brush with the curly braces. They're right next to the P key. And you can pretty much just draw your selection. Say I want to select the entire sky. I just color the sky. Now that was amazingly fast and even a little bit more accurate than even the magnetic lasso tool. I'm going to shrink the brush a little bit. It missed a little bit of the house, or got a little too much of the house. And you can see it automatically has a plus sign. So every time you keep drawing, it adds automatically to the selection. If you hold down Option, you can see a minus sign, and you can cut holes in it and undo it. So Shift for plus, and quick selection automatically has the plus, or Option for minus, and you could subtract from a selection. Okay, but I'm going to keep this selection. All right. So just a note, and I'll probably mention it in other videos, but if you undo, you go Command Z. If you want to undo multiple times, Command Option Z. They fixed it in newer versions of Photoshop, but the version of Photoshop we have, you have to do Command Option Z to go back multiple times. It's very different than any other program. All right. So we figure out which one of these selection tools we like, and we make the best selection we can. I can see that it's got a pretty good. I could go in and refine it just a little. Oh, wrong direction. Option for minus. I could refine it a little bit if I wanted to, but it's not bad. It's contorting to all the bushes and things like that. Now, there's lots of fun things you can do once you have a selection. Like, let's say there's a nuclear explosion. And so maybe we go up to the image, adjustments, hue saturation. This is my favorite one to start playing with. The hue just is another name for color, the actual pure colors in the light. Saturation tells you how much of the color you're using, and lightness is the value, the light and dark of it. So I'm just going to play with the hue, and I'm just going to grab this whatever it's called. I can pull this little woo. You can see the color of the sky turning colors. Woo! Okay, so I could change it a different color. I could increase the saturation. It's a super bright blue day. Colorizing will take the whole thing and make everything some of the a variant of that specific hue. But I'll just go with a little bit lighter. All right. So we just changed the type of day we're having. Oh, it was nuclear, so it's there we go. Oh, something horrible's happening now. Okay, so there's one example of how to use all the selection tools. We'll just change the sky.